Plaintiff Diana Vitale is suing her former friend for breach of contract, interest, and late fees. Diana says the defendant agreed to pay her mortgage for 2 months, but then she canceled the checks, causing Diana's mortgage to go unpaid. Defendant Tony Randall admits to canceling the mortgage check, but she says the plaintiff gave her a money order with the wrong name for repayment. Tony's countersuing for emotional distress because she claims Diana cut the braids out of her hair, causing permanent baldness.
All right, the plaintiff is suing her former friend for breach of contract, interest, and late fees. The defendant is countersuing her former friend for damaged property and emotional distress. Diana, it's your case. State your case.
Tony lives across the street from me. She's been there for 4 years.
Wrong.
We've been
Already?
Wrong.
Already?
Wrong. Off the bat.
All right.
Wrong.
Well, how long have you been there?
I've been there 5 years.
Good.
The
that's
day that I
enough.
moved in. Oh, I'm
5
sorry.
years. She said
5
4
years.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I've been friends with her for over 2 years. Since
Wrong
she moved-
again.
Okay. How long has it been? What's your first name?
My name is Antoine, and you can call me Tony.
I'll call you Tony.
Everybody calls me Tony.
All right, Tony. How many years have you been friends?
Diane and I were friends for about 2 years.
That's what you just said.
No, ma'am.
Be
No, ma'am.
quiet. All right,
we
go
were
ahead,
we
Diana,
were friends.
Go ahead,
2
Diana.
years.
And then we stopped
Diana,
being
excuse me,
friends,
Tony.
and then we were friends again.
Tony, let me explain something.
I apologize.
Okay, go ahead, Diana.
Tony and I were friends maybe 4 years ago, and she broke it off with me.
Fine.
Okay.
Mhm.
Walked away from it.
Yep.
Year later, same thing. This
Yep.
is the third strike against her that I
Third
have.
strike against me.
You two have been very informative already. You don't get along. Okay, that is established for the court.
Mhm.
You don't need to get crazy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, Diana.
Okay. Her and I were friends for a good 2 years.
Can we
This-
pass that? You're not friends anymore.
Yeah,
We're
she's
there.
a very eccentric woman, as you could see. She thinks she's a beauty queen, and the guys all hit on her. I have
Judge
never
Pirro.
witnessed it.
Not yet.
Prior to this situation, she asked me to hook her up with some nice white guy. And she also said, I like cream
Wait a minute.
in my coffee.
Excuse me. She said something else. Wait, excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse
She
me.
Be quiet,
claims
Tony.
She has a dog named Oprah. This little
You have a dog named Oprah?
is
Yes, I
the
do. A
cute-
Chihuahua.
It's
Do you have
the
another one named
cutest.
Stedman, or you just
No, I'm looking
went-
for a Stedman for my Oprah.
Keep going. I want to hear
Okay.
about the loan.
In May, I missed my house payment. In June, I was going to make the May payment and the June payment. Okay. I was going to be late. So Tony offered to help me with the 2 payments. At first, I refused. I said, no, Tony, I'll just be late. She goes, no, I insist.
Did you agree to pay your mortgage?
Yes, for 2 months.
No, ma'am. I did
The
not
answer's
agree
no?
to pay her mortgage.
All right.
She's lying.
Were you
Oh, yeah.
friends at the time this happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when she agreed to pay your mortgage, are you working?
No, I'm retired.
Okay. Why is she behind in her mortgage? Did she tell you?
Yes.
What did she tell you?
She went on vacation in January,
Mhm.
and from what I understand,
She's lying.
And from what I understand, she went on vacation to Phoenix, Arizona, and to Las Vegas. She went and gambled, and she got behind on her house payment.
When did you go to Vegas?
The end of April.
The end of April. All right. You go to Vegas the end of April, and now you're behind in your May and June mortgage.
no,
Is that correct?
just May.
No,
you
ma'am.
you told me 2 months.
Yes,
3 months.
I was making both payments in
Actually,
June
3
when
months.
she pulled her little
Hold
stunt.
on a second. That's 2 months.
Yes, but I wasn't behind on the second month,
Oh.
only on the first month.
You were behind in May and you were about to pay June. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So you go to her and you say, look, I need money for May and for June.
No, I didn't ask her for any money.
She offered you money.
Yes.
Okay. And what are the circumstances?
She made a personal checkout after going across the street and making out a promissory note with the dates we agreed on, and came back to my house and I agreed on them and we signed it. No problem. The
For how much money?
$1772.40.
$1772.40 that you're going to pay her. And what are
No,
the terms?
that's the check she made out.
She's going to make a check. Okay.
Right. I mailed the check certified to my mortgage company. We agreed on June 15th. I was to give her $500.
Yeah.
I have it all written down here.
So tell me. June 15th, 500.
Yes, $1,200 on the 17th, and the balance, which was
$72.
$72.40, was before June 30th.
All right. Start from the beginning, Tony.
I told her I was going to have her sign a promissory note.
So is there a promissory note?
Yes,
here?
ma'am. Here it
All
is
right,
right
let's see
here.
it. Thank you. And then what happens?
Diane and I went back over to her house with my checkbook and with the promissory note. And I said, Diane, you do understand what you're signing here? Mm-hmm. She said, yes. She did agree to pay me on the 15th,
well, you know
17th,
what?
and so forth.
This is very clear here that she's going to pay you the 15th, $500, the 17th, $1,200, and then $72. You both signed it. We're in agreement so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Let's fast forward to the 15th.
Okay.
First payment due. Hit me.
The 15th came and the 15th went. No,
you didn't get your $500.
No, Diane.
What happens next? Pray tell.
Okay, on the 17th.
No.
On the 17th, Diane came to my house. She had a money order with my name spelt wrong, printed out on computer paper for $1,000 and two $100 bills.
So she's paying you before she owes you.
No, ma'am. This was on the 17th.
Oh, this is the 17th.
Yes, ma'am.
What difference does it make if the money order is spelled wrong?
I'm sorry?
What difference does it make?
My credit union wouldn't accept it.
What happens? Tell me what happens, Diana, on the 17th. You owe her $500 on the 15th.
Right.
And on the 17th, you owe her $1,200. Did you pay her the money on the 15th, the $500
Yes,
that you
all
owed?
of the money.
ma'am.
How?
All of it.
On the 15th,
Cash.
she did not.
You gave her
I
cash.
went
Did you
to
get a
her
receipt?
house.
Did you get a receipt from the 15th?
Yes.
No.
Here's the receipt.
On the 19th.
And she
Dated
ripped
the
it up
19th.
and she threw it on the ground.
It's
Boy, there's a
dated
lot
the
of drama
19th.
here with
Pick
the
it up.
two of you.
And she even wrote the
Dated
wrong
the
amount.
19th.
Okay.
She
Judge Pirro
even
said
wrote
dated
the
the
wrong
19th.
amount.
Receive $17.79, Tony. All right. And then I've got a receipt. Is this your handwriting? Look up there, Tony.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. Cash $17.79 on 6/18/09.
That's the 18th. I'm sorry. I thought it was the 19th.
Okay.
Yes.
The 18th. Now, what are you suing her for?
Damage that she did to my hair.
She's lying.
What kind of damage?
Wait.
What kind of damage?
I had a hair weave. As you see, I have an affinity for fake hair. I like it. Okay. I had a sew-in hair weave, which means it was sewn in a braid
what that
reinforced
is.
with thread.
I know what that is.
The girl who did it could not get to me, and it was really itchy. Okay, you know how it gets.
No, but I've heard.
Well, okay.
Go ahead.
Well, it gets kind of itchy sometimes.
Okay.
And I asked Diane, I said, Diane, would you take this weave out of my head?
Okay.
She said, I don't know how to do it. I said, all you have to do is take scissors or a straight razor or whatever and cut the thread.
What happened?
Miss Vitale took the straight razor and cut the braids. I had a target cut in the top of my head.
I didn't do any damage to her hair.
What did you use?
The girl that did it pulled and made it bald.
What instrument did you use to take the weave out?
Scissor and a razor.
Okay, good. Come on. Let's go look at it.
Excuse me.
I've got a cosmetologist who works with me. I'm going to ask her to come over. Debbie, why don't you come over?
Okay.
Tell me, Debbie, explain that. You're saying that there's like a halo?
Yes. She had, my hair was braided in a circle because I had a sew-in hair weave. Okay. What Diane did was Diane took a straight razor and rather than cut the thread, she cut the braids out.
You see it?
Uh-huh.
Was it started here?
Yes.
Go outward?
Yes, ma'am.
That's this crown here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you.
Remain seated. Court is back in session.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay. All right. There's also an issue regarding a rug and a comforter.
Well, yes, ma'am. That was me. That was part of my countersuit.
Mm-hmm.
However, because of the outcome of the first part of this case where she's suing me, I feel she's already paid me for those.
Oh, so even assuming that she paid you money back, and you're not willing to admit that she paid you $1,700 back?
Oh,
or
no,
are
she
you?
did pay me $1,772 back, but she paid it to me after I stopped payment on the check, which I told her 5 times that I was going to do.
Why?
On the 17th, when the second payment was due, Diane only brought me $1,200, which was the money order and 2 $100 bills. I looked at the money order. The money order looked very, very bogus, ma'am. It really did. The money order had my name spelled like it was written in Japanese.
Was it typed? Was it
It
printed?
was typed. It looked like it was printed off the
Copy
computer.
from the bank.
Okay. And that was what she brought me on the 17th. She did not give me the $500 until the 18th.
Antoinette
No, my name is Jeanine.
Randall. $1,000.
Look how the first name is spelled.
They would
Why
cash
wouldn't you take a personal money order?
I took it to my credit union, yes, ma'am, and they would not
said no?
accept it.
Do you have any proof of that?
No, I don't have proof that I took it and they wouldn't accept it.
But when she came on the 18th and gave you $1,779, you took that money, but you believe that you shouldn't have to pay it back, even though your money, you stopped payment on the check to the
Yes.
mortgage company.
Yes, ma'am.
Because she owes you $1,779 for what?
Diane has,
Irrelevant.
I have bought Diane all kinds of flowers, plants. She broke my grow light system.
$1,700?
Yes, ma'am. And I can show you the itemized.
The issue is whether or not the defendant is liable to the plaintiff for breach of contract.
Yes.
What? Thank you.
Oh, no.
Whether or
I'm
not
sorry.
the defendant owes, as the plaintiff alleges, $1,779. Now, the defendant says, look, there was a contract here. There's a promissory note. They both agreed that the plaintiff would pay $500, then $1,200, and then $42.
Yes, ma'am.
There is, I don't need any running commentary, but thank you. Now, there is no question but that the plaintiff breached the agreement because she didn't make the payment plan on the schedule that she had agreed to. However, she paid even more than what's due. She gave her $1,779 on the 18th. Once she comes in and you accept $1,779 the next day on the 18th, then you have $1,779 of her money that you're not entitled to. Now, the defendant counterclaims and the defendant says, hey, look, I should get $2,500 for emotional distress because she took my weave out and she's a licensed beautician and she caused permanent damage or tremendous damage to me. I'm almost bald. The court went back into into my chambers and looked at the defendant's head. Now, anyone who removes a weave knows that you don't do it with a straight razor.
She told me to.
Don't even answer. You're a licensed beautician. There is no way that you should have loaned her money if indeed, as you want this court to believe, she has stripped your head and caused you to be bald. I don't buy that. Your counterclaim is dismissed. When you went back within a day and gave her that money, I'm not saying she didn't have a right to cancel the bank check. She did, but she's not liable for any of the interest or any of the late fees on that because you didn't come through on your promise. But at the end of the day, for breach of contract, you do get $1,772.40. Verdict for the plaintiff. So ordered.
She's lying. The whole thing is a lie. It's
You
a
are the
favor.
biggest liar I have
Transfer.
ever met in my life.
I didn't
and I'm
make
going to
money
tell
on
you
her.
what, Diane.
She begged me to do it.
You lie.
Because
I've
she's a
never
liar.
begged you to do anything.